Welcome back, viewer, to Chungu cha Jamii. Today we are talking about parenting an adolescent child. How is it for you as a parent with an adolescent child? What are the challenges? What are the strongholds? What are the joys? What are the ups and downs that you're going through as a parent? Interact with us across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. So, Madam Catherine, before we went on a break, you have told us not to be fooled by a kiss or kissed to be fooled.
Yeah, we are telling parents, please, parents, be a talking parent and a listening parent.
Indeed, we need to go for classes to be a talking parent because looking at it, you were telling us about a 15-year-old who is impregnated and is unapologetically
that was my boyfriend.
And it still is.
Yeah, and still is.
What are the conversations are they having for the girl to be so confident knowing that, I mean, this, like, it's not by accident. You know, kuna that remorselessness that you can see in a child and saying, indeed, I was wrong. But when a child tells you like this, it's like, I already know it's wrong, yes, but it has happened. So what?
But that's a child now.
Yes.
A child will not see the wrong thing. The word of God says that children naturally do silly, careless things. So she's just being a child. After having talked with her now, that session which was supposed to be today, I'll be seeing her tomorrow, she broke down and cried. Because I told her now, that boyfriend of yours is in campus, he's enjoying life. Here you are, with a stomach that is growing big every day. And she looked at herself and she said, by the way, Madam, will I ever fit in my uniform? So it hit her. So they have to know that sex is not one of their play games. They have to know that sex is what makes girls pregnant. And how will they know if parent you're not talking? And you know, parents ask me now, but Madam, where even do I start?
Exactly. How?
We should have this talk of sex and sexuality should be an everyday talk at home. And we should not just target the teenagers. Remember, we started with the campus, now we came to Form 1. Now, as we talk about sex, we have to make sure that we speak to the children that you have at home. You have a 13-year-old and a 2-year-old, speak to them together. Because accidentally, or sadly, if the 13-year-old is a lesbian, and you have a 4-year-old, and this 13-year-old is in boarding school, when she comes home, she's going to practice with this small one. So this small one is going to be recruited, thanks to you, parent, because you never spoke. And that is why I normally say, when we are talking to our children about head, shoulder, knees, we should not be in a hurry to get to the knees. We have to tell them, these are my private part. Nobody should see, nobody should touch. We have to speak it. Adolescence, yes, it is where now their hormones are feeling, yes, I need to be loved. By the way, they need to know that God is love, but love is not God. Yeah, just because they're feeling, when they are touched by a boy, you normally say they feel paragasha. They should not entertain that, because they have an appointment with their destiny. Parents, we have to reparent ourselves. How did you behave when you are a teenager? Now you know better. When you are a teenager, your parents may not have told you anything, but now we are in the era of information. And woe unto us with this era of information if we don't get to know the know-how to speak to our children. For us to parent our teenagers, because that's the topic of the day, we have to understand who this teenager is. This teenager, by the way, the girl is feeling very hot. They are feeling so hot than the cockroach. They're feeling hot, nice. And they already been told about the nyash. Now they know that even my breasts have come out and their face is becoming smooth. Others say, but I have, they're called blackheads and whiteheads. They have to know that. But they have to know, teenagers must be told by parents that teenagehood is a time to figure out. Therefore, we cannot allow them to disfigure themselves. Teenagehood, by the way, can bring a lot of conflict between the parent, the guardian, and the child themselves. And we all have mood swings, including myself at my age. So as a parent, you have to make sure that you manage your mood swings so that you shall not swing these children. Manage them so well. So come to their space, understand yourself. They have a emotional cry to be loved, sexual attraction. Is it that the word? They are feeling sexually active and they're attracted now to the opposite sex. We'll have to have had spoken earlier before they get there. The Bible, by the way, and I love it because I'm a Christian, Song of Song 8:8 says this: we have a young sister and her breasts are still small. What shall we do for her when a man comes talking to her? That means men are coming to talk. And that is why I normally tell them point blank, uspeane. So parent, you uspeane, you are the one who is going to tell your child. Tell them yes, she will be talked to as peane. But again, a child, anybody below 18, and that is adolescents, and we have 19, anybody below 18 that is having sex is being defiled. Whether it is this girl who is 15 and the boy who is 17, they are defiling each other. We have to spell out the consequences. We have to educate themselves. I said we need to understand our children. We understand that we are growing them up with social media. It is competing with us. And in that social media, they have online friends. And by the way, I think it's a joke that is trending this week of a Form 3 girl who does an SMS to a teacher and tells the teacher, teacher, can I come and see you in the office? Then the teacher asks, who is this? Then says, this is Sue in Form 3 red. Then the teacher replies and says, how did you come to the school with the phone? Then because I wanted you and myself to meet, please allow me to come and bring some homework to you. Then you send me to your house. Then the replier comes and says, this is the principal, let us meet in the office. Let me say this. Every normal child, including yourself and me, when we're growing up, we test the boundaries. So parents, you have to put the boundaries there, knowing that they are going to be tested by these children, but do not let the child have their way. Mm-hmm. Even as I said, be friendly to them, mm-hmm. do not let them have their way. Mm-hmm. As you are parenting adolescents, mm-hmm. let us also not be naive. Let us look at what they have put in their drawers. Beginning of this term, a parent wrote to me a message, and they said they have seen their child with a necklace, with a chain, with a pendant that is written, so tie sisters. And they asked me, what does that mean? And I said, that is not just an ordinary a chain. We have to look, but even as we look at what they have, we have to make sure that you're not looking to expose them. We are looking to redeem our children, mm-hmm. because children are our future. Therefore, parent, as we parent, what are we going to do? Mm-hmm. We have to provide not only food and school fees. Mm-hmm. We have to provide information. Mm-hmm. We have to protect our children. We have to prepare them for the future, mm-hmm. so that we shall not regret as we try to repair. Mm-hmm. As we speak now in Kenya, we all know the Kware incident, mm-hmm. where we have seen sacks full of dead bodies, and this breaks my heart. And as a parent, by the way, the news that you watch should give you a narrative. Let it not just pass. Be proactive, even as we are being reactive. Yes, we have seen those sacks, and they have said most of them are ladies, and we are asking ourselves, is it femicide, somebody killing women? But let us ask our children so that we can form a narrative of it. Remember I said when we were growing up, our parents used to tell us of a giant that had a mouth at the back. so that we can ask our children, let us debate about it. How did those bodies get there? The child may not want to speak much, but tell them the dangers of, number one, meeting a stranger. Number two, of walking away with a stranger, regardless of how near it is. That means even our teenagers do not have a right to walk away with a stranger. Then also tell them not to take any gift from a stranger. There's a word in English that I forgot yesterday when I was talking to a teenager. And I was telling them, it's like they use that thing, they tell you, come, 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 come. That English word disappeared. They control you. So that we don't just miss an opportunity to educate our children. Why are we talking about dead bodies in sacks to our children as we parent? Number one, we want to bring fear. This is a generation that is so fearless. By the way, they normally tell me, Madam, we can have sex today and tomorrow morning you're going to take P2. But I normally tell them, by the way, you can take all the P2s, but they are not P2s for demons. Neither are there P2s for your heart. Na ukilose virginity, kameenda kakiedanga. So we want to bring fear to them. Then the other one is, we want to bring faith. The word of God says, nobody should kill. The same word of God tells us, you should not go where evil people go. So that this teenager, even as they want to go and figure out, they have to know there are places they can go, they are at a risk. Then we have to bring in facts. And not only facts, hard, tough facts. We have to be able to dramatically explain to them what it means to dismember a body. Where they have to take the hacksaw and cut into pieces. Let your teenagers see you demonstrating so that they will know this one I cannot try at home. As we have said, now we have brought fear, faith, fact. Then we fight the wrong behavior. We have to prune it so that it doesn't grow with them. Parents, please be a parent that knows what is treading. Because this generation tends to tread with what it is treading. The fifth one, you have to follow through. Your talk of yesterday and your talk of today must be connected. And that connection is very good. I want you to remember what I said earlier. Adolescents can bring because they want independence and they want to separate from us. But now we have to be deliberately connected with them such that they miss you. This is not the time that you are going to be a very tough mother. You have to know how to be tough and you have to know how to be fair. There's tough and rough. Tough love is very good, but you cannot be rough on your children. So we must be so connected with them. As we are connected with them, please, let us communicate. Parents talk. These children, yes, they think they know it all. But you know better, you parent. You have walked the journey, you know. As you communicate, please correct them. And you correct them with love. Love without rebuke is an abuse. By the way, rebuke without love is an abuse too. So you have to love these children so much to correct them. So that, please, parents, be that friend that your daughter, your son can confide in you. And when they come in, they tell you something that is a horror, do not wear the shock. No, balance yourself, hear it all, then now you can walk the shock with yourself to another place and cry, but not break down when they're telling you. Peradventure, if your son tells you that in school they are gays, and you don't have the power to transfer them, then do not appear like you're shocked. And do not even punish yourself because of the behavior of your child. Yesterday, somebody called me, and it's a reverend. And they told me, Madam Catherine, I've been given your number by so-and-so because of my child. And I said, Reverend, what has the child done? And he stammered. And I said, has she been recruited into LGBTQ? And he said, yes. And the Reverend said, Madam, that is our only daughter, and we are reverends. And I said, it is not you who has done it. It is your child. And the child, by the way, has been recruited into it. Let me try and say it in Kiswahili. This is the parenting where haurushi mtoto ije na maji chafu. You're parenting to save and salvage this generation. Yes.
You're parenting to save and salvage this generation.
Yes, please.
All this that you have talked about, and you have mentioned and said that also the conversation that you have should be a daily conversation.
Yes.
What happens to the single parents? It's easy for me to have a conversation with my daughter or my son as a mother, because in a family setup, it's our mothers who talk. What happens to our single fathers who are fathering the children alone?
And we salute them. We salute single fathers. God bless you.
Yes.
What happens? Life has no space for vacuum. And God has given us 3 support systems. People, time, and money. You single father, if you have the money, I can work together with you as a mentor. If you don't have the money, somebody has time. Your auntie, your mother, your sister. And please make sure that you protect them from the girlfriend that you're talking to. Then third one is people, your time, all people. There's always somebody that can help you. Do not die alone. However, there's nothing hard that a parent cannot speak if you have the Bible. The Bible has everything. So they can talk, but again, they need somebody to support them to talk, to do the talking. And I said, please shield them from the girlfriend that you have, because not all our friends are our children's friends. And now I also bring in the single mothers. There are boys that have been sodomized by the boyfriends to the mothers. There are girls that have been defiled by the boyfriends to the mothers. So we have to make sure that we separate our love affair, our love journey with the care that we need to give these children. I have deliberately brought in the word care. We have become a society that does not care as long as we are making money. Parents, we have to slow down for our parents, for our children. As we go on the lane of making money, who is parenting for us? TV can never be trusted anymore. With Wi-Fi, with whatever else, cannot be trusted anymore. So we must make sure that we engage our children to know that inside the social media, there are some people that are not friends, they are predators. And that is why I normally say, not all your online friends should be met offline. Parenting is not just about growing children. Where we give them food, we send them to school. Parenting, we have to be intentional, we have to be deliberate. Anybody that has given birth shed blood. Anything that was birthed by blood requires to be parented, not only to be grown. Yes.
Interesting. Having understood all this, with these parents who are so busy and have no time for their children, and also you've mentioned and you've had children saying, my parent was not listening to me. My parent has no time for me. They're being brought up by the house managers, which is not bad if you're having one who is taking care of them properly, and you're also instilling the characters that you want. What happens if you're having a parent who is, how do I put it, who is not, I don't know which correct word to use, but this parent is not parenting the child in the sense of has no time, hamskizi, Actually, these things that you're going through, you come to tell the parent pushes you away. You know, you've said this is not the time ya kumtupa nje na maji chafu. It's the time to salvage them. What happens to this parent who is not willing to salvage? Then they are so egotistic in the sense of, what would people say? I'm not going to be associated with you if you do this. And also driven by emotions, whereby mtoto akiwa mzuri sana, I love and embrace and I hug. This is my child. So proud of you. But akikosea, you kick, hata hutaki kumuona. You the first person kicking them out. Unataka kumtuma sijui boarding, unataka kumtuma sijui abroad, unataka kumtuma, you just don't want to be associated with this child. What do we do to this child who is feeling so rejected, and a parent who is rejecting the child to the extent of the child can feel my parent doesn't love me?
Hurt people hurt others. So as I had said earlier, reparent yourself. And you see, this child is a child today, but they are going to be the parent of alphas. So whatever you're depositing in them will manifest somewhere. Every parent needs to hear this. Please, we need to sacrifice for our children. Because if we don't sacrifice for our children, we are sacrificing our children. Yes, at times we feel like that child has misbehaved and we want to crush them. But I thank God that you have talked about you want to hug them. They cannot be all wrong, that there's nothing good in them. I want to repeat that. This child cannot be all wrong, that there's nothing good in them. So you have again to be intentional and deliberate to look for the small good thing in them that makes you happy. So you have the hug, you have the happy, then you have to have a heartfelt conversation with them. Make them understand that it is true what they have done is wrong, but they are your child. You can salvage, you can redeem them. Then please make sure that you hear them out. Why did they behave that way? Why are they throwing their tantrums if they are as a teenager? And how was your parenting? How are you yourself parented? Are you still hurting? So that now we can be able to shape the actions that we want to apply. Yes, this child has wronged us so much. This child has messed. What action do I take? So that you can ask yourself this question. The action I'm taking, is it the right action or is it emotionally driven? Because if it is just emotionally driven, it's going to trigger a behavior in this child. This child will know, if I mess mom like this, she'll beat me up anywhere and everywhere. And that is not the behavior we want to encourage. So that we can be able to, when we have the appropriate action, we'll have a corresponding appropriate behavior where the child is remorseful. So that now we can spell out the choices and the chances. That if you repeat this again, choose what you want to be done. There's a young girl that has been sent away from school because of whatever she did. And when she came to me as a mentor, we drew up a structure of what will happen if again she repeats what she does. And I told her to make a choice of what she wants. And she said, I will surrender my phone to you for 2 weeks. And August holiday being a 3 weeks holiday, she told me, Madam, I'll do everything not to misbehave because I want to have my phone. So that now that we have the action, we know the behavior we want to take, we are giving them a chance to choose what punishment they want. And now punishment, remember I had said that discipline is not punishment. Punishment will only come when they walk in a disciplined manner. So that now we can decide together that, Johnny, if you misbehave this way, we will take this action, we'll take this behavior, the one I normally hear you are grounded, so that again you don't fall back to it. Yes, please.
Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
I'm being told that we are running out of time. It feels like we have not even talked so much.
Okay.
But again, I believe this conversation that we have had today, it will help a lot of parents out there. Our viewer who is listening today, a teenager who is listening today is able to understand how to be able to come closer to the parent, and a parent knowing how to bring up an adolescent much better, especially with the Gen Zs, the Gen Zs alpha who are not very fearful, but they are very bold
Yeah,
in what they
fearless.
want.
They're fearless.
Please, could you give us your parting shot?
Thank you, parents. Be intentional, be deliberate, be hot, raw, real, and nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Viewer, let's continue this conversation online across all our social media networks. That's GBS TV Africa. Our SMS line is 21144. Till next time, have a nice time. Goodbye.